وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إنا كنا من الظالمين.
The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, when any one of you stands to pray, he is talking with Allah. So let him pay attention to how he speaks to Allah. So again, this is a good way to develop your concentration. It's by understanding that Allah is answering you. Okay? Also, another way to develop your concentration during prayer is to put a barrier or sutra in front of you. Because the sutra protects you from the shaitan and keeps people from passing in front of you, which can cause a distraction. The Prophet ﷺ said, when any of you prays, let him pray facing a sutra and let him get close to it. Getting close to the sutra is important because the Prophet ﷺ said, when any one of you prays facing a sutra, get close so that the shaitan cannot interrupt his prayer.
إلا صلاتي ما أخليها هي حياتي ودنيتي فيها. إلا صلاتي ما أخليها هي حياتي ودنيتي فيها. إلا صلاتي ما أخليها هي حياتي ودنيتي فيها. وعد أصم.
Also, another way to strengthen your concentration during prayer is to place your right hand on the left hand of the chest. The Prophet ﷺ, when he stood up to pray, he used to place his right hand on his left and place them on his chest. And he said, we prophets were commanded to do this by Allah. And the reason being is because doing this shows humility before Allah. And also, keep your eyes focused on that spot on the prayer rug where your head will meet when you prostrate. The Prophet ﷺ used to pray with his head tilted forward and his gaze lowered, looking at the ground at that spot. Okay? Another thing that we can do to help strengthen our Khushoo during the prayer is to move the index finger. The Prophet ﷺ said moving the index finger up and down becomes more powerful against the shaitan than a piece of iron. Subhanallah. So yes, this is a sunnah thing to do, but it's something that we should do. When you are reciting, when you go in to recite the tashahhud, move your finger up and down. Move it up and down, because this helps to keep the shaitan back. It holds him back like a rod of an iron, because it reminds you of the unity of Allah. And shaitan hates unity of Allah. In fact, the companions used to enjoin upon one another to move that finger up and down during the tashahhud. And you got some Muslims out there, some so-called scholars out there who don't know, and they'll sit there and tell you that you don't have to. Well, you don't have to move the finger, but they'll go so far as to say it's not a sunnah, and this is not true. It is a sunnah. I'm reading the hadiths to you. All of these hadiths are authentic. Okay? The sunnah is to point with your forefinger, and it should remain raised and moving, pointing towards the Qibla, and you point and raise it up and down throughout the entire tashahhud. You don't just raise it when you're reciting a certain part of it, but you keep it going during the entire tashahhud, and you don't stop moving it until you give salams out of your prayer.
شكوت إلى وكيعي سوء حفظي وأرشدني عن ترك